Hi, I'm Danny Capital. I'm the Managing Director for Interfi in the South Atlantic. We are a preferred service provider with the ICBA. We've been that for over 20 years. We're celebrating our 20th year with the ICBA. It's been a wonderful partnership working with our community banks, and we're just delighted to be here. The regulatory environment around deposits has changed significantly over the last several years. We are able to help accommodate the banks and meet those regulatory changes. When they may be scrutinized for their uninsured deposits, we have a solution. They can offer their customers access to multi-million dollars in FDIC coverage, which then enables them to go after more customers, lock in that franchise value, but meet the regulatory demands. It's the ability to have a one-stop shop with community banks. And that's one of the things that's so powerful about ICBA. So a lot of people ask what I do and how Interfi can help banks and their depositors. And what I enjoy most about it is that they get access to multi-million dollars through their community bank, whom they know, they go to church with, they're in their local community with. And so it gives you a lot of joy to be able to bring that kind of solution to the market. What we're here to do is just to help allay any concerns that the depositor might have in working with their local bank. And when that happens, it's just symbiotic. It's economic value for the local community, it's value for the bank, value for the depositor. So it's a win-win situation, which we really enjoy.
Jack Hopkins, CoreTrust Bank, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I am this year's incoming chairman, and I'm excited to be in Nashville. You know, this year we've got some real opportunity that we probably haven't had for the last few years. I'm looking forward to working with the congressional delegations and the regulators to try to roll back some of the harmful regulations that we have had over the last few years. You know, this year with the Capital Summit, it's more important than ever that we come into this. I had a senator once tell me that if I don't hear from you, I assume that you don't have any problems with pending legislation or any regulation. So it's very important that we be heard this year and that we make our voices loud. So please consider coming to Washington, D.C. in May. You know, when I look at the value of being an ICBA member, I have to look back for the last couple of years to the failure of those too big to fail banks and the special assessment that was going to be assessed. ICBA was the only national trade association that asked for that exemption, and if it weren't for ICBA, we wouldn't have gotten that exemption. I hope everybody has a great time while they're here in Nashville, and when you get home, remember, ICBA is there for you, so please, please, use your advocacy efforts and help ICBA out. They're here to help you.
If I could sum up what makes ICBA Live so great, it's the people. It's the opportunity to meet, network, socialize. There's really good folks here.
Today, the general session was amazing. I wrote down 100 ideas while listening.
I really enjoyed the keynote.
I've really enjoyed the opportunity to learn some new things.
My top programs I've enjoyed is Think Tech.
Well, what we really like about the Think Tech and what they're doing with bringing the community banks together is you have the entrepreneurial spirit that is coming up with new ideas and new opportunities for the banks to grow.
It's the collaboration with my fellow bankers.
It's been terrific to kind of talk to so many community bankers, see the kind of directions that they're going in, the way they're using technology.
I'm excited to learn more in the days to come.
Hi, my name is Jacob Eisen. I'm the CEO of ICBA Payments and TCM Bank. So I joined ICBA Payments less than a year ago, and I couldn't be more excited about the blank slate that I have and our team has in order to reinvent, rethink, reimagine the future of payments for community banks here in America. How do we level the playing field between our nation's largest banks and the community banks every day? We know that 60% of small business lending is done by community banks. They know the local business operators. They know the street corner that is successful and drives commercial activity, and they know where to invest their dollars. From our perspective, what we want to do is bring payments to the forefront of what those banks do and offer every day, so it's not a sideshow. We want to make payments important, integrated into their offerings so that they can drive future growth for their businesses. We are universally behind this modernization effort. And what does that mean? We have spent decades building on our profitability in order to undertake a massive phase of modernization. And what that means for you in your local communities is more commerce. It means more transaction activity. It means more deposits. It means more cars in the hands of your consumers and fee income at the end of the day. Everything is about driving your bank forward, and we can't do that without becoming the most modern platform that exists for community banks. We already know that we understand you better than than any of our competitors, but we can't serve you the way that we need to if we don't have the best, most modern technology and service offering. So not only are we going to be providing the most modern technology offering, we are going to be providing, and we are committed to provide, the best service offering to community banks. So we are here to serve you, and we're going to invest whatever it takes with full board support to ensure that we have the product service capabilities to drive your businesses forward and to convince you to make payments at the forefront of your commercial activity. We can't wait to meet and talk to you about what these efforts are going to be doing directly for your banks.
At MasterCard, we're powering economies and empowering people. At every moment, we're connecting businesses, governments, and 7.7 billion people to a global digital economy. We're designing easy ways to pay, across town or across borders, faster or later, from the comfort of home or on the go. We're protecting people's data and identities. We're helping businesses make smarter decisions and making money more secure. We're bringing more people into the financial mainstream and helping small businesses get online to create a more sustainable economy where everyone prospers. We strive to be a force for good, creating value, growing together, and moving fast for our customers and each other. At the end of the day, we're all about making connections. From everyday moments to innovations across the globe, MasterCard helps millions of people do incredible things. Together, the possibilities are priceless.
With solutions from IntraFi, you can have it all. So how does it work? Let's say you have $1 million to deposit. When our bank places funds using ICS or CDARS, your funds are divided into amounts below the FDIC insurance maximum of $250,000. And those smaller amounts are placed with FDIC-insured participating banks.
Historically, when we look at the footprint of small businesses in this country, which is unlike anywhere else in the world, we can attribute it directly to the presence of small banks and those that are on the ground that are taking that local capital and redeploying it to small businesses so that they can grow and create additional capital for that community.
You spoke about the one-size-fits-all regulation and how it impacts the small businesses, and it impacts us when banking regulations are one-size-fits-all, and it puts us in boxes and makes us have to operate very similar to much more out-of-market larger competitors, where what you've indicated is your businesses need that personal relationship. They need that ability to have a banker that they can work with and help them with a customized product.
One word to me that describes ICBA Live is collaboration.
Energizing.
Innovation.
Engaging. Passionate. We're all passionate about the industry we're in. We love serving the communities, and it's fun to be around a bunch of passionate bankers.
Hi, I'm Ann Bowser, and I oversee the government relations team at ICBA. As the only trade association in Washington, D.C. that exclusively represents community banks, our policy is shaped by the stories of our community bankers. So when I ask for our community bankers to engage with the ICBA team, I really mean that. It's really to hear from them what they're seeing on the ground, what their experiences are, where their challenges are. And so we need to hear both from them to shape policy, so our day-to-day conversations with lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the regulatory agencies reflect their experiences, but then it's also critical that their voices are also directly heard when we do a call for action from grassroots or we invite them to Washington, D.C. for Capitol Summit, because those stories matter. I think many of our bankers forget that those in Washington work for them, and they need to hear directly from them because that is really that tie right back to Main Street. So we are only a few months into a new Congress, new administration, and we are off and running, and it really is completely and directly attributable to our members' advocacy efforts. Congress kicked off its legislative session this year with 2 hearings on the same day that prominently featured not only ICBA leadership, but that also were focused on the community bank advocacy and the tremendous impact of community banks on economic development. And so we've really been able to use that to capitalize on that direct impact that community banks have on driving local economies that in turn fuel the nation's economy. And so we are off to a great start. We've had the new Treasury Secretary basically using our talking points in public speeches and really talking about that this is Main Street's time and Main Street's time to thrive. And you know, there is one fuel that ensures that Main Street can thrive, and that is the thousands of community banks that are operating across the country.
Alice Frazier, Bank of Charlestown, and the distinct honor to be Vice Chair of ICBA. I hate to admit it, but we were faced with some fraud last year and really needed to contact 2 large banks and thought about how could we do it. We're having no success, so we actually posted it into ICBA community, and within a 20-minute period of time, we had contacts to those banks, and one banker actually shared a list of 20 other banks that he had contacts with, and I felt like all of a sudden we were going to have success in recovery because we had actually been able to use our banker community to help us out. Helping others is what we do best with community banks and as community bankers. And so when we come together within the ICBA community app, it's all about helping other bankers with challenges, problems, ideas, and ways to solve things overall. I liken it to Reddit, where you might make a post and you'll get a lot of answers to it. It's ICBA's own Reddit community overall.